And we are live. Welcome to another episode of You Know What? Let me just say podcast. I'm your host, Ray. With me as always, we have Father.
I'm kind of sick, but I'm getting better.
I hope you get better soon. With and always first Black Ginger.
What they do? The fucking
And
police officer in the building.
and I'm pretty sure we're gonna be having some other guests if they pop up soon. Y'all know how it goes. Well, let's get started. I thought it was gonna be a slow week, brothers, but by Monday it started popping up, especially with Jussie Smollett case being dropped.
Yeah,
Ooh.
then the Cheeto wanna try to get FBI involved again. I hope the FBI like it's a waste of our time. It's not that serious, but we don't know. Well, it might be because he had a letter. So,
I mean, how do you feel about that?
uh, Republicans, conservatives, and a lot of white people are fucking hypocrites.
There was a lot of white tears, though. There was a lot of white tears. There was like, man, how come he gets dismissed? He lied on the FBI and everything. And I'm like, no, if you actually, paid attention, the police was lying too.
You know what? Was actually kind of happy. Like this is probably I obviously when was the O.J. Simpson case? Anybody remember that?
Like
Uh,
94?
and, you know,
Okay, so I was like a youngin about the O.J. Simpson case. So I don't remember much, but I do remember everybody's talking about even though they really ain't fuck with O.J. like that because O.J. ain't really fuck with black people like.
June 12th, 94.
Okay, it was 94. I was too
Oh
young
no,
for that.
it
We
says dates 95. Well, okay. He supposedly killed his ex-wife Nicole in 94. The trial was in January 95. Damn, it was about a 10-month trial to October 95.
That's actually a fast trial compared
Yeah.
to others. Anyway, like obviously, I was really young for the OJ trial, so I didn't know. Like once he got off, I know black people was very happy, and white people was very angry. OJ. And the way I see it, it's the same way with this one, except it's a gay black man now. And even if he is gay, I'm still happy that he got off because I've been on the record saying he shouldn't do no jail time anyway. I don't think he should have been it shouldn't have gotten this far. I still don't believe his story about, the whole this is my country. And I still feel like there's some loopholes in there. But as far as him getting off, I am glad that he is a free man. And hopefully I don't want to say it's going to get back to normal because it's not. But I hope he does continue on Empire at least, like does some with Empire. And now that Donald Trump is really trying to get this case to federal, it kind of also proves my other point that they try our black men and our black celebrities, gay, straight, whatever. Like
Exactly.
they're not leaving this alone.
Hey,
And I guess if you go back to the OJ case, they let him go, and then like they gave him like 10 years of stealing his own shit. Jussie Smollett better not do another thing, or he gonna get 10 years off of randomness.
They got off in one case, but then they went and made a civil case. I think I remember seeing in a documentary.
a civil case?
Yeah, it was a. I remember the documentary. They made a civil case out of it, and he
Yeah,
lost.
I think he had to pay the family or something like that. Like,
Wow.
yeah.
Mm.
So, like I said, they was trying him. They really wanted OJ. When they realized they couldn't get OJ, like they basically had to wait till he fuck up. So I feel like that's the same way with Jussie. It's like he got to walk that clean, beaten path. He can't jaywalk, or they're gonna give that nigga 5 years. So, but that's yeah.
My thing is like, So everything you said was right. And remember, Ray, I kept saying they look at your blackness before your gayness. I kept saying this, and there's proof every time. This Jesse Smollett case is exact proof that they look at your blackness before your gayness. As a matter of fact, that whole Ed Buck situation where that one white supremacist was killing them gay black men in his
Mm-hmm.
home, I didn't really see no like LGBT people like stand up for them. I saw a whole bunch of black people though. Even Tariq Nasheed, who they said was homophobic, was talking about Ed Buck the whole time. I saw a whole bunch of black channels and a whole bunch of black people calling out Ed Buck. But when I look at the LGBT, I mean, there was like a few here and there, but collectively, I heard nothing. So that's why I keep saying, like, bruh, if you're gay, fine, but don't forget the LGBT's racist as fuck too. Like, I even post studies about this shit. There was even an admittance from the LGBT talking about there was racist as fuck. Because in that app Grinder, they actually had to host a campaign that stop like trying to prioritize one race over the other because that shit's actually toxic. And I'm like, you see, like the proof is everywhere, but it's like there's just selective ignorance about it. And you know what? It's because the LGBT's on code when it comes to that kind of stuff. And that's the type of code we need to be on because if we was on that type of code, Jussie Smollett, we would have been rolled for him. Not saying that we didn't, but you know, there was definitely some black people that was cooning it up when it came to Jussie Smollett talking about, oh, he need to go to jail, or oh, I don't believe him and shit like that. I mean, which is fair because his story kind of didn't add up either. But at the same time, that wasn't the point. The point was to stay on code. Whether they're gay or straight or transgender, we stay on code when it comes to black people.
You know, in a perfect world, that would work, and
Right.
I agree with you. But some people just hold their values way too more and don't understand coming together as a community, even with things you don't agree on sometimes.
Funny you should mention that because that was going to be one of my topics, and I don't know why I pushed this off, but we never really got into it because we always talking about we need to get on code as a black community. And I wanted to ask y'all individually, how does one get on code? I'm gonna start with you, Father.
So the number one thing that we always got to do is we always got to look out for each other. I feel like that's what really being on code means. It's like if you're in a situation where you feel like you're getting exploited or where you feel like it's your word against other people's word, then that's when we come in and then we support you. And I don't mean like in a way that you know you're clearly wrong and you know we demonize you or whatever because that's not what we're supposed to do. But like if you're ever caught in a situation where like you're pretty much alone, then that's when the black people is gonna come and ride for you. Or if you do something fucked up, we won't go out of our way to demonize you. So because I'm gonna give an example. The Just Hilarious situation. A lot of black people wasn't on code with that, and the reason why is because there was scrutinizing her in public in front of white people. So it was like, I mean, yeah, what she did was fucked up. Don't get me wrong, but you know, we're supposed to condemn our own in our own house. We're not supposed to bring it outside and have other people clown her as well. That's not what being on code is. I promise you, if it was a Chinese person that did that same shit, and it was black people talking about, oh, these Chinese are racist, they would check your ass with the quickness.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I feel like that's part of being on code, and also the gender war shit got to stop. That's also part of being on code. Black men that say bitches and hoes and all that shit's got to stop because when you're on code, you're gonna honor the women that's in your circle. Same with the women. You gonna honor the men that's in your circle. And like I said, I'm not saying that we should ignore our issues and our problems. We just shouldn't have it outside. You know, we shouldn't have it where the Chinese can look at us. We shouldn't have it where the Arabs are looking at us. Like we need to selectively deal with our shit in house and have our own spaces so we can collectively deal with it and make us better because you know a Chinese person is not going to have your best interests at heart than like a black person. So, and even though, yeah, there are some coons, we also got to be on code to, shut them out and, bring it and shove them like way over there or some shit. Because what they do is they bring down the collective agenda. So we gotta recognize these coons, and we gotta do what Harriet Tubman did. I'm not saying like to literally kill them, but we should figuratively kill them. Don't give them no platforms to stand on. If they're gonna shuck and jive for massa, they should know that there's no place back in the black community. Because even if you're a coon, that's not gonna save you. Look at what they did to that one officer. I forgot his name. The one from Wisconsin. I forgot his name. But yeah, he was cooning a whole bunch. His
Who?
ass just got let go.
Who?
It was some sergeant officer or whatever. He was like the
Wait,
police.
David Clark?
Who?
David Clark?
Yeah. That's him.
He be on like Fox News with the cowboy hat, the black.
Yeah, him.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
nigga very cool.
King
And I
Coon.
hate that word.
So his ass just got like let go of something. I think they let him go on Fox News or whatever. I'm like, I'm telling y'all, cooning is not gonna save you. Yeah, you can make a couple bucks off it, but you'll be quick to let your ass go. Joy Reid, another coon, she was sexually assaulted by someone from the right, and they ain't do shit. They was calling her all types of she's a liar and oh this ain't true, and she's over there still shucking and jiving. So it's like, wow. When it come to black folks, we really got to check our coons, and we got to make sure that they don't have a space within our society, because we already segregated as it is. We might as well just have a barrier between us and shit. So that's what I think being on Cody entails. We gotta make sure that we discuss our problems in house. We gotta take care of these coons, and then we gotta stop disrespecting each other out of in public, because that shit's not the way.
Okay, first Black Ginger. What about you?
I'm on with the, we got to stop the ginger war. We got to just learn. We need more, things like these podcasts and stuff. Learn to talk to each other and stop trying to win arguments and try to start listening to each other. We got to stop outcasting people because you just necessarily think something's wrong. It's not your way of view of going about it. Unless you're talking like Jesse Lee Peterson, then that's a different case. But we just got to come together and start understanding, start looking at things, and realize we got to work together. Nobody gonna have each other back but us. We got to stop blaming each other. Like I said in the other podcast when I was telling Q, we got to stop feeding into our narratives. We got to stop feeding into those negative narratives as much as everybody else do, and start creating more positive ones. We got to stop saying that. You said the gender war. You said the gender war, and I seen something today earlier about a man saying about somebody we went to high school with, talking about how men never explain themselves. And I'm like, do you sit down and try to explain yourself to the women, or people always holding stuff in but scared to evaluate it? We gotta have, as much as I hate safe spaces, sometimes we do need safe spaces so we can talk and communicate and realize what the issue is and build back and realize it's not us who caused this problem between us. It's white supremacy, and we have to find systems and make systems to get around it, which is hard because we all integrate into it in a way with all the services and stuff. We got to stop dissing people for one. A person can have one different thought than you, and people will disregard them forever. One of the best thing I learned was from a sergeant. He said, sometimes you gonna have leaders you don't like, but even those leaders you don't like still gonna have good things to take from them. And like Wallace said too, and I always felt like this: stop scrutinizing each other. Like I was, stop scrutinizing each other in public. Unless you dead at, the only way I can say is unless they're doing something dead ass wrong that you have no choice, like assaulting somebody, stepping out of pocket. Even then, you just find a way. Depending on what it is, you can find a way and pull them to the side and tell them you're not handling this right. like a story. I remember being at the VA, and sometimes the VA can give you problems, but I always remember people got jobs to do. People got jobs to do, and sometimes there's red tape that they can't go or they might lose their job. And there's one dude who was a black male try to use the race card, and I kind of yelled at him right there, but then I was like, I should have pulled him to the side instead, and like, where I get it, we all got issues with the VA, but what you did right there was uncalled for. The woman gave you every option that she can do that's in her job, but it wasn't up to your liking. That's what I should have did. But there's things we got to do. Pull people to the side. Hey, that's not cool. You shouldn't act like that. You know what I'm saying? Why you feel this way? Because life is about perception, and what perception is your reality. It all comes down to talking and communicating and listening.
I agree with both of y'all. But this is why I've said that like we need to have a, like you said, safe space. I don't want to say safe space, but like I've always had this idea, and I wanted to do this like by gender, like one for black men and one for black women, and like we get on code right there, and then like we sort out all problems as men, like from the new age men to like men now, because obviously um there's things that the old black men taught us. Some people are not cool with it, or the way they think is not does not fly here. But I also think some of the stuff that they know helps out in this world today. And I'd say the same thing with the young blacks. We got to stop being rebellious all the fucking time, because sometimes like if I'm actually trying to kick you game, like we all been this when we're trying to kick game to somebody and you tell them that's a bad idea and they do it anyway. And sometimes
Yes.
Mm.
like you gotta have, even though you gotta have patience with that, like it kind of irks your nerves, because it's like you like, how many times do I have to tell you before your knuckleheaded ass is going to listen? And I feel like sometimes people want to make bad mistakes instead of just learn from them. I feel like a lot of young people want to make bad mistakes just so they can say they live, which is not
Yeah, I get that.
which is not good all the fucking time. So I would say like we should have like a place where like we're black men, we can all talk our problems out, we get on code. And then the black women, they have their problems, they talk it all out, they get on code. And then like we bring that stuff to each other, and we all in one city talk it out and get on code. And then also like we gotta support each other from the beginning. And I've seen this all the time where like we'll only support, like even though I'm guilty of it, like we'll only support a business if it's booming. We don't really support business when it started out. I think a lot of, and in this time of age, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that are trying to start their jobs, and we're kind of like you ain't like you ain't this high end mobile joint. We're not gonna really look at your stuff when they're trying to like get to that place. But as soon as they get to that place, most of us want to jump on there. I feel like we should jump on there early, because I feel like that's how other races, when they start doing stuff, I feel like they jump on their shit early, and once it really kicks off,
You know,
this is like,
go ahead. I'll let you finish.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you done? I want you to be done. I can remember.
Yeah, it was just so like when they're really, we you could say that like you had a part of it in starting up and all that other stuff. So basically, like everything y'all said, plus like us really like sorting our problems out
Yeah.
and like trying to guide them for our kids for the future. And yeah, go ahead, Phil.
Okay, so I did forget to mention on how like father said we got to start with the disrespecting women, even when we don't agree with what they're doing. Like I saw the video. It was a video of the day, and this dude was like, "You bitches keep shaking your ass. You bitches." One, he was ugly as shit, so I don't know why he was talking. And two, it was like, why? I don't know. Like the dudes use the bitch word so much that it's like I'm beginning to get annoyed by it myself. Like I know some people don't mean no say they don't mean no harm, but I'm like that's detrimental after a while. I'm like I'm tired of hearing it. I got sisters, a mother, aunts, and the other thing like you said about the businesses I was getting on was I think that that's human nature not to want to trust something sometimes, but I will agree that I think black people have the most thing of not wanting to jump on something. But that's because I don't think we understand business as a whole yet. But there's a lot more of us who are. We understanding where it's moving and what to do to get that freedom, that financial freedom. And it's not just working. Sometimes a little rebellion is all right because things are different. And some of the older people don't understand that. And, especially older black people, they don't understand that things are changing. So we have to think and do things differently. The same way it doesn't cut it as it did 20, 30 years ago. That's why we tend to have a lot more black entrepreneurs and a lot more black entrepreneurs trying to move out and do their thing.
Which is why I always say intersectionality doesn't work for black people. I don't know who lied to them and say, oh, oh, we're all in this together and everything. No, y'all not. No, the fuck y'all not. And like
Was
the proof
intersectionality.
is everywhere when it comes to that. It's like think about what y'all just said. Y'all said we should support black businesses when they pop up. And it's like, so if there's intersectionality, then by proxy, shouldn't y'all be also supporting these businesses too? Because if it's intersectionality, then you're supposed to help me get past, and I'm supposed to help you get past. But it's always one sided. That's what I've always noticed about intersectionality and civil rights. It's always white. It's always one sided. White women have civil rights. That was included in the civil rights conversation. Jews were included in the civil rights conversation. But we're supposed to be we're like the bottom of the totem pole, but yet we have to make way
We
for.
were the ones who started the movement fighting for everybody.
What'd you say?
I say we were the ones. We're at the bottom, but we're the ones who decided to stand up and stand for what we believe what we should have as humans.
Right.
We
And I
fought
feel
for everybody else is getting the benefits, but us.
right. And I feel like that has always been to the detriment of black people. Like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's true that, we're very tenderhearted and, we recognize struggle when we see it, but it has not helped us one bit. Like, I always study history and I'm looking at these movements here and there. And I always notice that it has not been reciprocated with all these other groups. I mean, yeah, you may have like one or two people that, were down with the struggle and, that helped out. But at the same time, when it came to corporations and other things like that, some of them will fund some of them will fund places that were not to our benefit. Other people would be agents and help stop the struggle and and stop the movement. Like there's a whole bunch of shit in our history when you study it that shows that intersectionality is not for black people. So it just tickles me when black LGBT and black feminists go on this intersectionality tirade and be like, you know, all tides lift all boats, and I'm like, yeah, but we've been trying to lift our boats for like what, like 100 years? Like, aren't you tired of lifting everyone else's boat? Don't you want to lift yours up now? You've been fighting for, you've been fighting for Jose. You've been fighting for Muhammad. It's time to fight for, you know what I'm saying, Shamika or some shit. Like we gotta stop being so ignorant to the fact that a lot of these other people don't give a fuck about you, and they're only there to just benefit off your backs. And I really wish black people would understand that, because I'm so tired of seeing black people and certain ones. I'm so tired of seeing them be passionate about a struggle, and then when it come to one of our own, everyone else is the fuck quiet. Like, bruh, okay. and they've been doing this for years, and y'all just let it slide. And then when a lot of people, like black men, when they tell you, hey, they don't care about you, then it's this, oh, I'm still gonna do it because I believe this is right and this is wrong. And I'm like, it stopped being a moral issue after Martin Luther King was assassinated. It really stopped being a moral issue when Martin Luther King was assassinated, because this was the same man that preached nonviolence. This was the same man that boycotted a lot of stuff. This was the same man that tried to get black people and white people to sit at the table together and discuss being brothers and everything. They assassinated him. So now, who else is left for you to look up to that's gonna say the same stuff Martin Luther King said and not get assassinated for it? I'm gonna tell you, nobody.
Nobody. A lot of the, a lot of civil rights activists right now are popping up dead, and that's really alarming.
Yeah. So yeah, that
Alarming.
whole intersectionality thing, I feel like black people need to get off that. For real, for real.
I don't know what intersectionality is, so I'm gonna have to look it up. Some
I can
research.
I can define it real quick because I've like studied the fuck out of it. So basically, intersectionality basically says, oh, I'm black and poor, and you're Mexican and poor. So that means we have being poor in common. So therefore, we should help each other to not be poor anymore.
Okay.
Feminists use it all the time for their agendas. White women tell black women, "Hey, you're a woman, and I'm a woman, and men are misogynistic. So, join the struggle." And then that's
Mm,
when you get a lot of those shea butter black feminists that just speak up the ass about shit. And usually, see, here's my thing: a lot of the shit they say aren't wrong, but there's two issues. Number one, they publicly chastise black men in front of white women, which
mm,
also gives them a pass to do it themselves. And number two, and this is the biggest one in my opinion, this is the biggest sin. They don't. They always reach. They always over exaggerate the issue at hand.
mm,
And an example of that would be what's it called? Bill Cosby, because a lot of black feminists was calling Bill Cosby a rapist, but he never got convicted of rape. He beat the rape case, but the Quaaludes was the one that got him. So instead of being on code and correcting people that said, "Oh, Bill Cosby a rapist," they never did that. They jumped along with him, but it was never proven that Bill Cosby was a rapist. So it was like, so you would rather like disregard all the facts that came out about this case in order to lift up a woman that don't give a fuck about you at the end of the day. Because it's not black men she's gonna marry, it's white men she's gonna marry. She's gonna take your support, and then she's gonna build up her own. She's gonna build up her own shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, wow, this intersectionality thing is really not helping black people. I'm trying to see it, I just don't.
I've been, you know me about that Bill Cosby case. I've been on that. He was never convicted of rape, and like to this day, anytime when like people's like, "Oh, he raped those women," and then I'm just like, it was never proven. It's like whatever happened to due process, because like when it's when it's, and I feel like, and this is me too. We really got to keep the same energy with all this stuff. Like, if I was calling due process for Bill Cosby, you got to call due process for Jussie, like we all was. We was all saying, wait for the evidence to come out. We don't really need to jump on things before like we get a conclusion. Just wait for the evidence to come out. And you know how some of these people are corrupt and like to put people in jail. We gotta, but like I think like I always said, I wish it wasn't happening to people that people find skeptical. Like I want it to happen to someone that people like really like. That way, I want to see us get on call for that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But then again, though, Ray, the only thing is like, if it's somebody that we all really like and fuck with, you're gonna have also a lot of vocal black people talking about, oh, he's a terrible person, he did this, he did that. They're gonna look up like a tweet from 10 years ago and try to chastise him on that too. So it's like we can really do that, but we really have to be adamant in canceling those who are not on code, and we got to publicly do it too.
Yeah, you're right because what they did to Kevin Hart, I think, and I don't know why they went after Kevin Hart. He's like harmless out of everybody. I tell people all the time I hate it when people say I'm tired of looking at Kevin Hart. I was like, it's a black man making money. He's safe. He's harmless. He don't do nothing. He's done every positive thing. I don't get why y'all don't like him so much. I can understand you see him too much. That's one thing, but
I think people don't like his style of comedy for him for some reason. I don't know, but still,
that's okay because that's preference. But
yeah, but still, I don't know. Some people don't like him on a basic level, and I'm like, what he did to you? I know some women don't like him because he cheated on both of his wives, but
I mean, yeah, I mean that part's understandable, but notice they probably keep it in house. They don't discuss that shit with white people.
oh, my thing about the Kevin Hart cheating was how many. I bet you he said no 100 times before he got to that one yes, and that one yes fucked him up.
And she filmed that shit too.
And she filmed that shit.
She was gonna get her paper. But I'm not gonna lie though, I saw the tape. Hey yo, he was fucking the shit out of her. He was fucking the shit out of her. I was like, okay,
yo,
now I see why you want.
yo, steady motion back shots. That nigga.
Yeah, that little comedy sketch he did about him. Remember when he was fucking that stool? That shit didn't do justice. He was fucking the brakes off that girl.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't supposed to laugh at the sex tape, but I laughed at that shit because I found that shit hilarious.
I don't know what it is about black sex tapes that are funny. They just are.
I think because we do extra shit like Brian Pumper, like putting eggs on women and shit.
you said Brian Pump.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
Brian Pumper, he was like cracking eggs on women. Mimi on the fucking shower rod and shit. It's just like our shit is just like extra for no reason.
Yeah, Black China was like on the edge of a fucking bed trying to suck it upside down, and I'm like, you can barely suck it right side up. What the fuck makes you think you can get it upside down? Like,
Uh, anyway, let's go to the next topic. How do y'all feel about people trying to cancel Cardi B again after the whole her admitting that she drugged and robbed people?
notice how you said again, bruh. I'm tired. If you wanted to cancel her already, you already would. You already got her to delete her whole Instagram. I don't know if it's back yet, but I know she did delete it.
Again?
Yeah, she deleted her Instagram right after she won a Grammy.
Oh no, it's been back since then.
Oh, it's been back? Oh, okay. So,
That's my boo. I love Cardi.
like, see, here's my thing, because I'm like trying to look at it, and what she did was fucked up, but at the same time, can like we I feel like we really need to pay attention to the factor that to the environment that led her up to doing that shit in the first place, because like Cardi has never been shy about saying that she came from the struggle. Like she said many times, she had to strip, and she basically had to do what she needed to do in order to make it. And now that she's made it, and now that she's on a public platform, I feel like people are just getting on her ass because like she's on a big enough platform to her to try to knock it down to. So when like I'm looking at the whole Cardi B situation,
Mm-hmm.
I'm I don't want to say I'm neutral, but at the same, it's like I don't agree, but I understand because sometimes you really got to do what you got to do out here in these streets to get out of it. And as she said before, she's not proud of what she did, which I'm sure she's not proud of what she did because when she said it, she was hella serious and she even broke down, explaining her situation. So I just feel like it's a bit of a stretch for people to try and crucify her, as they're trying to do. And I'm gonna also go as far as to say they were just looking for an opportunity like this to try and crucify her, because a woman who's apparently racially ambiguous, even though I knew for a fact that she's black, Afro Trinidadian, Afro. So it's like, I mean, I keep saying, yo, it's Cardi B black, Afro Trinidadian, Afro. But like, anyways,
I thought okay.
Yeah, but it's like, anyways, I can't really see myself. I won't say blaming her, but like, criticizing her, because there's been a whole bunch because there's a whole lot of niggas that wasn't shy about their predicaments, and they're pretty much celebrated. You know what I'm saying? Now I know it's not to the extent of drugging people, but never did she say she rapes them. I don't think she ever said that. But
It
she
was
said,
a video going out, and I think it was edited to make it seem like she was doing something. But I believe, like, from what I took from the video, what I did see, she was talking about getting back on cheating, and she was like, "There's ways of doing it, like something to do to sleep up with a tranny." But she was never talking about raping them in that one. Like,
"Oh yeah. I saw the transsexual one, and that one I can't get with, because we don't fuck with that shit. Black people in general just don't fuck with that shit. I don't think it's even just us being transphobic. We just genuinely don't fuck with it. So, um, when it comes to that, I would totally, chastise her for that. But for the principle of her doing what she needed to do to get the fuck up out the slums, and to get herself to a position where she can support her and her family, I can't completely knock her for that, because I'm pretty sure if other people was in her shoes, I'm not saying that they would do the same thing, but they'll be probably gonna do things that they're not proud of either. And I've heard a whole bunch of people talking about, well, you can you can be in a struggle and not have to rape, and not rape, but not have to drug and rob people just to go where you at, which is fine. You didn't have to do that. But different folks, different strokes. And again, I'm not saying that, I agree with it, but I understand where she's coming from, because it is hard out here, especially especially her, where people was telling her she wouldn't be shit when she had her fucked up teeth. People were clowning her then. Cardi B has always been clowned, and it just seemed like no matter what she do, she's like chastised. Like she could have a number one single, chastised. She could try to do like anything she does, she gets chastised for it. So I'm at the point where I'm like, when are you gonna push her so far to the point where she just says fuck it, no matter what that looks like? When is it gonna get to the point where she's just gonna pick up all of her shit and just say fuck it, fuck y'all, I'm out?
All right, what about you, First Black Judge? How'd you feel about it?
I feel like some people are hypocrites, and I think there's just dudes again with that gender war. Like, oh, y'all want to counsel these men for doing it, or counsel, Bill Cosby. And I'm like, I don't think the two are the same, Robin and stuff. And it goes with father was telling us in our group chat that time, where people just out to get her, and somebody said that I think some dudes out there just to get her, because they're like, that bull crap of equality, trying to say it's equal is fair, right? If they can do it to men. But I'm like, I just remember on the Carter 5, Lil Wayne got a whole song on how he used women to use their sex appeal to trap dudes so they can rob them. People was like, but it's just a song, okay, but some people rap about their life in real life, and you see Lil Wayne, we only don't think he did it because he got out at 15, but I don't think the Hot Boys they were popping, but I don't think they were making enough where they stopped doing this stuff. You can look at everybody in the Hot Boys; they look like they did some crazy, grimy stuff.
That's because they're from New Orleans.
Yeah, but just saying, like, I think it's hypocrite. Well, all these dudes talk about in our rap, we talk about murder, robbing, dealing drugs, taking drugs, and you want to get the woman because there's just a solid video, and like, and I saw a comment, but it's different from music and stuff. They can't take you to court on music. They used to, but they passed. They used to couldn't take you, but now they can't use it as evidence in court cases. But they will use it to start investigating you. Fat Joe said they did it to him. He was trying to warn
6ix9ine.
Try to 169. You got a lot of energy, and they're gonna come for you because you don't. He was doing stuff on tape, like acting like he want to go fight. He gonna go to a place where it's late at night, but lucky him, there wasn't somebody late there that late night.
Right.
But I feel like it's just a bunch of hypocrisy, but people probably can say the same for us. But I'm like, we gotta get the other man for it too. Mm.
Hey, welcome back. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
He eating. I can hear it.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear
Uh,
you.
you
Okay.
just we were talking about the whole Cardi B situation. You know about that, right?
Yeah, I heard that.
All right. So, Phil, you done with your opinion?
Yeah.
Uh, everybody just from man Stu been knowing him since like Navy days. My like best friends since then. What did you think about the Cardi B situation? What's your opinion on it?
I was hearing what your friends were saying, and I agree with them too. But also, like during the time in the hood, everybody do what they need to do to survive. Sometimes you can't follow the rules. And like you said earlier, niggas been doing that shit for years. Been robbing motherfuckers. So now when the girl do it, everybody wanna put her to the side or some shit like she ain't nothing. My whole thing is that they're trying to bring her down. She came up on her own as a stripper, moved up into the ranks, knocked Nicki Minaj off, and now they're trying to find a way to like bring her down.
You're the first person to gain money of being loving hip hop, not the other way around.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about it is that the crazy thing about it is that Nicki Minaj, man, she's real talented. She doing a lot of shit, and a lot of people trying to knock her down and shit. And what also you realize is that you always have somebody always want to talk about what you should do when they never been in that predicament. I grew up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the hood. I know I did a lot of things that if I tell people, people not going to accept. But if you was in my shoes, you'll probably do the same thing. There's always some white person or somebody like, oh my gosh, she should have did that shit. But when the hood is different rules, you know what I'm saying? How you gotta get money, how you gotta hustle. Niggas, like you saying, niggas been doing that shit for years. Females been doing that shit too. It's just that they found out that she did. Puff Daddy been doing shit. Biggie been doing shit. All the niggas been doing shit. Nobody ain't saying nothing about that shit.
I know, with this coming up, there are a lot of women that said if I wanted niggas just mad because they know they could have been that same goofy ass nigga that been robbed. That's why they mad. Because a lot of dudes let pussy run their life. I think in an interview somewhere, 50 Cent said women are his weakness. And for a lot of men, it is. No matter how they try to put it.
Let me tell you, men been using females to rob niggas for years.
That's what Pip is all about.
And you gotta think about it. Biggie got a song, and I heard see our last broadcast too. I wish I'd hopped in that jump. 'Cause I had a lot of stuff to say, but I was like, ooh, I'm gonna save it for another time. I was born in '81, so I'm almost 40.
Mm.
In DC, a lot of niggas been doing that shit for years using females, and females been robbing dope heads. Drug dealers for years. Flirt with them, take their stash, sell their shit, get their money. It's all hustling, man. It's all hustling. It's all the only strong survive.
Mm.
On Biggie's song, he got a song where he talking about he got a female, he using her to rob a nigga. Puff Daddy got a song where he got a girl where he robbing a nigga. No, everybody talk about the dude, but nobody talk about the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Mary J. Blige the same way too. If y'all know Mary J. Blige, Mary J. Blige. She really couldn't sing when she first started out, and she was on drugs heavily, crack, coke, bleach, pine sol, whatever the fuck she was on, and she was robbing. She was robbing and doing a lot of shit in the '90s too. '90s and 2000s, man. You in the brick of the hood. You gotta do what you survive, man. And she just telling her story. Now, if
You
it been a
know,
dude, if it been like Jay Z was selling drugs and he became a multi-million-dollar person in business and music. but nobody ain't knocking that dude down hard as he doing. A lot of people just don't want like a strong black mixed female like that. They want somebody clean, but you can't be clean. White motherfuckers been doing that shit for years.
No,
They
they doing
just,
they
they
do this
just,
all
they
the
just,
time.
they just use the legal system of that shit. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna buy this property for the low low. You know what? Let me kick everybody out. Or let me just raise the rent, build it up a little bit, and make money off that shit. Oh, okay, let me get this company and let me sell the company. Everybody work there will get fired without no pension. White people been doing that shit for years. Ain't no fucking different. They don't say nothing about that shit. Motherfuckers lose their job when people be selling company. Oh, bankruptcy. The fuck type shit is that? And you got like $23 million or $23 billion. You filed for bankruptcy. You got your money. You pocketing it. White people been doing that shit for years, man. There's always a lot of motherfuckers that always want to talk about stuff they don't know nothing about and quick to judge, sitting in their ivory tower or their glass house.
Yeah, that's basically what I've been trying to tell people that y'all don't understand. The streets have no morals. It's like whatever you like. You said whatever you got to do to survive, you do it. There's not like you. There's a couple people that like have a code, sort of like Omar for the Wire. Like he has to have a code and all that other stuff. But there are times where the streets are just ruthless. Like
Mhm.
like a lot of people kill for no reason, especially
Um,
like I've told people like people go to war over colors. It's like if you're wearing red and his town is blue, like niggas will shoot at you. Like there's no morals in the streets, and like I've said this about Cardi. The male side want to be mad, but I can't be mad because I know about that happening. I know everybody glamorizes the strip club, but people forget the strip club is not a glamorous place. It's really not. It's a fucking hole in the wall, and a lot of drug dealers. I've been in strip clubs where like gang members and drug dealers are there, and they're just just doing business in there. And sometimes the women they're doing business too. Like if you give a lap dance and they'll say like just like Cardi B, it's like I take you back to this hotel. We do blah blah blah, and I know that's how niggas get robbed. That's like the whole thing is a dirty game. So it's like the male side want to be mad because like at this point I get it. If it was a dude drugging people, if it was a dude drugging women, you can cancel. They be trying to cancel. They try to go to take him to jail.
You
And, you
do
know,
say your lane, B.
like if a dude like drug women is like they'll try to cancel him all the time. I get that part, but at the same time, it's just like the streets got no morals. If you got now that she's like, and like you said, this was like 3 years ago, so she's not that person that she was 3 years ago. So there's no point of like people bringing this up unless you really trying to cancel Cardi B or you got some type of gripe against Cardi B.
Yeah, that's why I said this was a targeted hit. I believe like this was targeted. Like someone's trying to get Cardi B like the fuck out the way. And also, we also got to look at what got her into that predicament in the first place, which is white supremacy. All like everything can be brought back to white supremacy because of gentrification and how the New Deal back in the day by FDR, I believe, he he only gave that to like white people. Like black people really didn't get much of that money. So on top of that, we still ain't got like our 40 acres and the mule and shit. Now you'll see why black people gotta do fucked up shit in order to get ahead. Hell, if we want to take it even further, it's not even exclusive to black people. It's Hispanics also have to go through a lot of fucked up shit too to make it up here in America because they
mhm.
push them in these areas that are like low development, aka the projects. They never stop building them because there's no money coming in, and then you wonder why all these people had to rob and kill and steal in order to make a living because you won't give them a job or you won't give them an opportunity to go to a good school and have them learn about other perceptions.
Mhm.
So it's like you pit these two groups against each other, and then when they get caught doing something, you know, that is supposed to help them get ahead, then all of a sudden it's evil and it's wrong. Well, maybe if you took the time to develop these areas, these low income areas that you say, oh, you know, all you got to do is just work hard and work this and that. Like working hard is overrated, and I'm gonna explain why. Because most people that work 2, 3 jobs in America, like they mostly broke. They don't have a lot of wealth to accumulate, and they don't have a lot of shit to, you know, save up, because they may be working those 2, 3 jobs to pay bills, to support their kids. Like they don't come from a lot of money. So the fact that somebody has to work 2, 3 jobs in America where they advertise that it's the land of the free and home of the brave, yeah, that's bullshit. So to perpetuate this narrative that, oh, you can be whatever you want to be, you know, especially to hood kids that don't really have that type of mentality when they're born, because when they're born they're already subjugated, because all they see around them is violence. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like all they see is violence. All they see is other dudes clicking up and getting other dudes just to get that one corner off the street so they can make money. So it's always a war zone to see how much they can make money and how much, then like basically how much territory they can cover.
You know,
So it's
go ahead.
huh?
No, go ahead. Finish
Oh,
your.
so I was just saying, like, it's about how much territory they can cover and how much money they can make from doing that. Whether it be selling drugs or pimping. I remember in one of J Rock's song, "Fly on the Wall," he was like, "They'll even sell a rock to your granny." You know what I'm saying? There was a scene in Notorious where Biggie sold drugs to a pregnant woman.
Mm.
So there truly is no rules when it comes to the hood, because rules is what
Red,
either get you killed, or rules is what's gonna have another man get what you already got and get caught up.
I'm not gonna say
I
there's
know
no
that,
rules in the hood because they have been ones from different things I've watched, like Thug Life. The hate you give little infants fucks everyone was a code that Tupac and a bunch of other people made up, where there was like neutral zones, no shooting here, no shooting there.
yeah,
You know, you these are it was like 26 rules, different things, but you
yeah,
always have that one person with no like. That's a big misconception about some people in the hood that they have no morals at all. Some of them do to a certain extent. Like if you're innocent, and usually it's women and children. If you're innocent, you're free to go. Unless you a woman, you're in that life too, and you're doing something, like what Cardi doing. Then you're not innocent, so they're gonna get you too in some cases. I do
yeah,
remember watching a documentary on the Crips. No, the Bloods, the gangland on the Bloods. I think I watched them both, but I remember neither one of them gangs started out as the gangs we know today, and even
yeah,
they changing. I remember the Bloods, the Crips were made to protect the community from police and other stuff. They were defending themselves, but eventually the wrong people got into the Crips, so they started terrorizing the neighborhood. Then the Bloods were created because they were getting tired of them being terrorized by the neighborhood. But in one of the codes that they had, because they see this was a problem in the Crips, was the Crips were also fighting each other. So they had a code: no blood takes another blood. Then, but one day the wrong person got in. That person who didn't care about the code took another blood, and it all goes down here. So there are rules in the hood, but everybody is a level to how crazy, how much of a psychopath that gangster is. And I was looking at the Michael J. White interview, and that motherfucker, he real hard gangster. But he mentioned something that I think I've seen somebody else that I know that lived that life mention one time, was he was having fun in it, but he didn't know that until he got away and got out, that he thought everybody at the time was kind of living like that, no matter
yeah,
where they were at, until he got away, or until he saw like a couple hanging out somewhere. And he was like, "That's what I want." He realized this is not the life he wanted. It's not the life you really want to live. But there's rules in the hood, but it's up to certain people to follow it, and some people won't, because some people think if they follow any of them rules, it's gonna get them killed. We all got rules of life that we believe in. Sometimes we break our own rules. Sometimes we, uh, your parents establish rules and stuff based on culture or how they perceive and live life. And sometimes we all gonna break them because sometimes, well, we're gonna realize that they're not the greatest rules ever to follow.
Right.
Yeah. I remember watching The Wire, and my man Cuddy, like he got out of jail. He was trying to get back into the. He was trying to go legit for a minute, but the shit wasn't working for him, so he got back into the street life. And Slim Charles, who was played by Big G from Backyard, um, he like gave him a gun. He was talking about how it is now, and he was like, um, I think Cuddy told him, he was like, damn, the game done changed. He's like, and Slim Charles told him the game ain't changed. This is a little bit more fierce, and I feel like that's one thing I learned about with the Cardi thing is like, it's a little bit more fierce, and then it's like it's a lot to do to survive in the hood and all the other stuff. But you are right, and I don't want to say the street has no morals, but there are like there are some times where there are codes and like shows like The Wire and even like around like most neighborhoods that I grew up in, there's like some rules or some unwritten rules that you can or can't do around there, and like you kind of abide by it. But one thing is just like I think that's why no snitching is like a big thing in the hood. So I can
No,
also
this is another part of the code. If we both live, because at any time, I know you're doing the legal stuff. You know I'm doing the legal stuff, right? If we were in that life, it's a really dirty tactic on getting you out of my way. So therefore, it shows that you. It also shows that if even though I'm just your rival, even though you're just my rival in the game of whatever we're doing, and I snitch on you, I might snitch on Wallace, who's supposed to be my right hand man in this thing, because I'm willing to do anything to just get by. And there's just like I said, that's a code too. No snitching is a code, but you're gonna get put out either way. Either you can't go back to that life, you're gonna get killed. That's what that no snitching rule is for. That's why I don't think none of the dudes, any of the dudes that Cardi did it to, I'm sure they were down and dirty niggas in the game too, and they're not gonna snitch.
Yeah.
that was also my other problem with Cardi B. I wish you stopped snitching on yourself. Because I said, I feel like Cardi caught a body. And I feel like one time she's just going to go on live and talk about the body she caught. And I'm like, if I was Cardi, I'd be like, yo, she needs to shut the fuck up sometime.
she did a protect her brand by shutting the fuck up.
Mm.
It's like, yeah, it's like the same thing with CeeLo beat the rape case, and he kept trying to say shit where he just like, and it just made him look like more and more of a creep. And then I was just like, my man needs to shut the fuck up and like keep it moving. All right. On to the next topic. Wallace, you mentioned something about like the suicide rate is getting higher or something like that.
Oh, okay. So let me give a bit of context. So three people who have been involved in school shootings have committed suicide. Two from Parkland, the one in Florida, and a parent from the Sandy Hook school. So what I find very interesting is that these schools are predominantly like white, right? So they're committing suicide over like the grief and over like the trauma and the PTSD, and it showed me two things. Number one, America doesn't give a fuck about mental health. I don't think they ever will give a fuck about mental health. And number two, as long as politicians can make money from gun lobbying, there's always going to be a chance of a school shooting. And it's funny because I'm actually in support of this of the Second Amendment. That's one of the only things I'll ever lean like right on, because I do feel like, especially as Black people, we should have an arsenal of guns to protect our neighborhoods and to protect our shit.
Black Panthers did.
Yeah, but and it also showed that it worked because no one fucked with the Black Panthers when they had all their guns and shit. So when um so when like these suicides started coming up. I see a whole bunch of people talking about, oh, we need to pray for them. Oh, we need to talk about mental health because I'm sure they're gonna get the help that they needed. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. And then you're gonna post that little stupid ass suicide number and then go on about your day thinking you did something. So of course they're not gonna get the help that they need because as long as you have that number, you can escape from the responsibility of being there for someone who's probably fucked up. Not saying that it's a responsibility, but at the same time, you shouldn't pat yourself on the back for doing something so minimalistic. So when I'm looking at these cases, I'm just like, wow, like it's really gotten this serious. And the fact that they could just off themselves because of that trauma, it really does fucking mean that America doesn't care about mental health, no matter how much you twist it, no matter how many organizations you put in. Like all of these cases, well, I'm not saying that they could have prevented the suicides, but what I'm saying is if there was a healthy space for them to grieve and not to face like America every day with their toxic ass shit, then I'm pretty sure they would be in a better mentality in life. Because I'm pretty sure those people that committed suicide, they kept having nightmares, or they would be or since America is just very, 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 very religiously big on guns, they might watch TV or a commercial or something, they'll see guns here, guns there, guns there, guns here, guns there. They'll see another mass shooting from another place, like the one that happened in New Zealand. Like, there's a whole bunch of shit that America covers that does not help the the mental health victims in America. So the fact that they keep perpetuating and keep pushing this narrative instead of chilling the fuck out, taking a step back and actually selecting what to show and what not to show, that already shows me that, like, oh, okay, so y'all just doing it for the capital then, because we are in a capitalistic society. Fuck your mental health, fuck your cancer. If it's making money, I'm gonna give it to you, and you just gonna have to deal with it whatever way you want. If you commit suicide, we're gonna put up the number. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna play some logic. We're gonna pray for you. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like other than that, like, there's money to be made out here.
You know
So
what? No, go ahead. I was just thinking about
yeah,
something.
I was just finishing up. So I just believe that like America is very hypocritical when it comes to mental health. And I will always say this until I see a major change in the way America sees things. Because I always said if you want to fix the gun problem in America, the number one thing you have to do is change the perception of guns. There's a reason why Japan doesn't have a lot of gun crimes in Japan. Not because they outright ban them, but because there's no worship of it. America, we worship our guns to the point where like it's almost sacrilegious to even diss them in certain areas.
I
You know
don't
what I'm
know how
saying?
many times I've seen like white men and they got an AR in one hand and like a
Exactly.
Desert Eagle in another hand, and like they're just shooting it in the air and shit.
Exactly. So like the fact that we see guns as sacred, and it's not even like handguns, it's like AR-15s and shit that'll just shred a motherfucker and shit that'll just kill a whole bunch of people with one burst. It's like, bruh, like what are we really looking at here? Y'all never want to talk about how we worship guns in this country, but yet be so quick to talk about, oh, uh, guns aren't the issue, people are the issue. Well, okay, if people are the issue, then let's look at what they're looking at. Let's look at what is entering inside their mind psychologically, and let's see what's really going on. Because if you care about mental health, like I said, you slow down, you look at the actual issue, which is image and perception in America, because y'all like to big shit up, and then you'll fix it from there. But until y'all do that, don't sit there and tell me that you care about mental health. Shut the fuck up.
Mm. I think even the average people don't care about mental health like that. And because it's hard to gauge. I mean, one thing I do think some people always diagnose themselves, but even then, the little test they give you is hard to tell if you really have something. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to gauge them, and there's a lot of people who think they have something when they don't. The
Facts.
the I see a lot of people. I'm so depressed. I'm so this. And I'm like, oh, you sure that you know? Did you get maybe like I had somebody tell me I don't need to know that I'm sick if I don't know that I got a common cold. But I thought I had a common cold one time, and I ended up in the emergency room 10 days because I had something totally more fucked up because I thought it was just a regular sickness. I'm thinking it's one thing, but it really was something totally worse. Where I could have lost an organ. You up here thinking you depressed and stuff, and you can just be having a shitty time. Really need to for people to take it more serious. They have to take it more serious and go to doctors. Don't get me wrong, doctors can be wrong, but what I learned is doctors another thing. A doctor is going to notice for what they experience the most too. We need more black psychologists. For one, we need more black psychiatrists, psychologists. You know, lucky. I mean, AI. One of the psychology teacher was there to get his master's degree, and his, his focus was black mental health.
Uh, I've I think my thing about that because other than like what that and the opioid problem, it seems like a lot of white people are like killing themselves, if not from one way, killing them from another way. So I know that was a big problem on them. Is but the I've always like wanted to do like an episode on like depression and all that other stuff because there's some people like we have friends that like really like diagnosed with the shit, and there's a couple of our friends you and I know that I don't know they really had depression or they just faking it or just like when anybody comes for them they'll just like throw out their anxiety and all that other stuff. Or my thing is if they really want help and like if I can't help them, it's like if they don't want to go to a therapist, then how are they going to get help? Because I feel like that's how most suicides is. It's like um, no one's there to help them, but do they really want the help?
Some people don't
And
want to know. Yeah, I don't think people do. Or people have anxiety. It's like one of the things that irritate me is sometimes when people say, "I want to talk and discuss my thing, but I don't want to burden other people." And my thing, I don't know. In my mind, I'm like, I don't think you really want to discuss it then, or you just don't have friends that can let you know you're not burden. You're not a burden to me. This is what friends are for. Or maybe your definition of friendship is screwed up, and you need to find better friends. But some that can be anxiety. So you also got to think about that.
yeah, I
Yeah,
could go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go
Uh,
ahead.
you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, I met my best friend Tony. I can talk to that man about everything. And then he might crack a joke, but he ain't serious. But I got somebody, I can fucking, and there's another thing, men don't cry in front of a man. I think I did one time. I was really upset about something, and I bust out crying, and never once was judged by my friend. We all been there. But some people, it takes, if you don't got a friend that you can trust to do that in front of, are they really your friend?
Uh, I've always like to me. I think this is part where I say I'm always blessed and lucky because I always had a support system. Like if it wasn't like my parents, it was like I've had good friends around. Like Stuart right now. It was like there was times where I was like really down and like he would do stuff to like cheer me up or like get my mind off of things. So I've always like tried to have good people around me. And then like if I'm in a good spirit, I always try to put that on. I don't want to force it, but I try to at least like bring a good aura around people. That way, like even if they are sad about something, like I can make them laugh or like crack a joke or something like that. Because I think, and like I said, I feel like there's people that want help but they don't know how to ask for it, and I feel like it's just people that I don't think they ever want to get help, and they just want people to wallow in their depression. And you know me, I'm stubborn. I'm not taking that. It was like, especially since I feel like, and I've always, even though this is a movie, and I always use this. I said if Precious could live through the shit that she been through, I was like, brother, you just like there's like whatever you going through, you can go through it too.
You know what? I see where you're going, Ray. J. Cole said there's no life better than yours. So, I mean, you need to stop comparing sometimes. Because comparing, even if the situation is worse, can be detrimental sometimes. But I do think you need to count the blessings that you do see. And sometimes we don't, sometimes a little blessing could be that you got both working eyes. You got, you can speak, you can hear, you can read, whatever it might be, just small little blessings. And sometimes people don't look at that.
Or people would like actually take you for granted. Like, because I feel like there are some people who have mental health that they mean well, but at the very end of the day, like it's not helping you out, helping them. So sometimes I feel like when we do take that step back, it's like, oh, you're abandoning me. I'm like, no, I'm not abandoning you. It's not helping me, or it's not helping me help you.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like with that, I feel like if anyone has a friend that has like mental health and shit, you have to. I feel like you have to realize that it's going to try you in ways that you never thought possible. And sometimes sometimes I feel like it's better for you to take a step back and have them try to figure it out on their own, kind of. Not to say to like abandon them, but to like love them from a distance, so they can they can try and grow from it without having that crutch to have like 24/7, because we have lives too. So I know when I was going through my depression, I didn't really have nobody to speak to. So what I did was I basically had to overcome that shit myself. And like I wasn't clinically depressed, but but I showed enough signs to know that I was depressed. So even if I wasn't really diagnosed, I noticed that a lot of the symptoms I had was just it wasn't just a coincidence. You know what I mean? So what I did was, like my method, I started doing like the whole spiritual thing. And then I started working out, and then I started doing all that stuff just to, you know, I had to break myself down to build myself back up basically.
Yeah. Um,
So when it comes to that, I feel like a lot of people I feel like a lot of people who have mental health, especially the ones that, have kind of like gotten to a place where they've overcome it, because there are many testimonies of people that have gotten past their anxiety, not completely, but they're at a space where it doesn't really bother them. What I've noticed is that they usually had to like do something drastic, or they had to break themselves further down in order to rebuild whatever was plaguing them. So if their anxiety attack kicked in and they noticed that they don't have control over their body, I've seen some people in their testimonies, they'll be like, I'll just go outside and just breathe. And because they'll also put like philosophy into it and say breathing is essential to life, without it you won't live. So I just try to put that in my mind and just breathe it out until I don't really feel it anymore. And I'm not saying that's going to work for everybody, but I feel like part of that mission is to find whatever works for you, and do whatever is in your power to overcome what you got, because it is possible. And I feel like we don't talk about that a lot. I feel like we don't talk about people who who have like gotten through their mental illness and are living fruitful lives without it being a burden,
mhm.
which I want to see more of, because I feel like if you go with the negative, while it is important that we have the information, it's
Right.
important to balance that.
That's
Um, I
right.
agree with you, Wallace, because lucky for me, I was in the Marine Corps when I started to talk about my suicide thoughts and tendency, my depressions. Uh, I had that. They put me over to a psychologist, and she helped me discover things helped me look up stuff about myself, a little personality test. And I started doing the things that the personality test said that fit me, and I started to feel a little bit more happier with it. Um, it's about finding what's for you, but the thing is, some people don't even know what's really they would enjoy, because they look at it and be like, "Oh, I want to enjoy that," but instead of trying it and see if they enjoy it, is what they need to do too. Something you don't think you enjoy will will set you free, and Even if something you like, oh, I don't think I'd be into it. The next thing you know, you might be in a LARPing or whatever. You got to find something, or you might just be really good at it and then enjoy it. I remember listening to some video, some talk show or something, uh, and the dude was talking about on how he found out that he was bisexual because he was about to kill himself. So he went out and did things that he never tried before. He even went and like started messing with men before he killed himself. And after doing all of that, he felt more happy with himself. You know, I mean, he found whatever floated his boat. But you know, you just gotta find out what floats your boat. It might be something you probably don't even think it would be. That's all I'm getting at.
All right. So, probably the last thing we'll probably get into because I wanted to talk about wrestling a little bit. Um, I don't even want to talk about the Kofi Kingston thing because obviously we all knew that was going to happen. But I want to talk about what was kind of unexpected, and that's Charlotte winning the SmackDown Women's title for the 8th time. Like, I was pissed. I know a father, you was pissed. I don't know how you felt.
I'm
First
pissed.
Black Ginger.
I'm pissed.
What's father?
I don't get why she had to win that. Did they not think nobody else was? Are they trying to cut matches from the pay per view? Or they ain't had nobody that was strong? You know, they thought was strong enough to go against Oscar. It'd be a waste of time. Oscar not getting the love she deserves. I'm tired of these superstars coming from NXT looking. The one thing about NXT that I love, even some of the weak people, like Cassius no, even though he get beat up a lot, you still know he ain't to be fucked with a little bit. You still got a match when you still got somebody that probably can put you in the grinder with Cassius and he's like one of the bottom people. Don't get me wrong, we still got garbage people in NXT like that Hawaiian Keanu Reeves.
Connery's.
Keanu Reeves. Oh my god, he sucks. But I don't know. It's something about the main roster curse, and it's just like I don't know if if Triple H need to take over because I heard when he took over 205 Live, the story's been better, and I still haven't gave 205 a watch because I don't like watching wrestling more than 3 hours most of the time unless it's a pay per view. But that's just me. But I'm tired of this main roster curse. I know it don't affect everybody, but if it affects too many people. We only seen EC3 in the background. One time spraying himself, and the other time looking at the monitor cheering Kofi on, or the rest of the New Day. I can't remember which spot it was. Like the tag team division should be booming them both because there's so many people to make tag teams out of. You got, you know what I'm saying? Like we should have bigger factions. But Charlotte winning that belt, stupid.
Bruh. It was like watching my child lose a trophy. That's how bad it hurt. Because you know, Ray, I've been following Oscar like before the whole WWE shit, before NXT. Like,
put me on.
yeah, like so, like I have a real connection. It dead ass felt like watching my child lose a fucking trophy, and like I was so upset because I've seen this woman. She's wrestled men. She's been in triple threat matches. Like her and Kairi Sane and Io Shirai, like they all came up together. Like those are like the Trinity in Japan. So like the fact that she just loses it just because it's Charlotte Flair, and apparently they're trying to unify the titles because of the women's tag team titles that they brought in, and they want to push more women tag teams. I'm like, fine, I get that, but why at the expense of Asuka? She's too good. Like even the match where she lost the championship in, that's probably match of the year candidate right there. So it's like, why would you fuck over one of the greatest women wrestlers today? Like I'm guaranteed, like I'm pretty sure she's guaranteed top 3 when it comes to women wrestlers today. Like there's just no debate about that. So why would you fuck her over of her already lackluster title defense? Like who did she defend against? Mandy Rose? Like bruh.
Becky Lynch.
Mandy
Yeah,
Rose,
yeah.
Becky Lynch, and Naomi.
And I'm just like, this is how she goes out, you know. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, Charlotte can wrestle her ass off, and you know, I genuinely love watching her matches, but you shouldn't have to bury one of your top stars in order to put over another one.
Mm.
I disagree with that.
I would have been more. I would have been better if they would have said she had a slight accident, and then the title was on the line. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I understand, but why at the expense of Oscar?
Now I'm wishing. I'm wishing she would have got hurt back when they said she got hurt. Because I'd rather have that than this bullshit. Milda.
What? That Oscar got hurt?
It was rumored that she got hurt at one point, but it was just a scare. It wasn't nothing serious.
Yeah, because she got dropped on her head during a live event.
Now I'm wishing she did have a concussion and could have lost the title. That way instead of this bullshit way. Like usually I'm like, let's let the storylines pan out and see where they go. Like I was telling people with the Kofi one. But this one I don't get. Like I don't get their moves. Or maybe, but when I think about it, I'm like on either roster, who really would have been a challenge? Because you got the other 2 horsewomen that probably would have made a good match. No, not probably. That would have made a good match as the tag team champions. You got the other 2 horsewomen in the main event for WrestleMania. The rest of these girls, well, Nikki probably could have put on a good match, but Nikki just got up to the main roster. I don't know.
Yeah, classic on that last woman standing match though.
Say what?
Like before Oscar went up to NXT, she had a classic with Nikki Cross on that last woman standing match.
No,
Like
I don't know about the other ones if they can put on that type of level with Oscar, but I love Naomi, but I don't know if she could do it.
those 2 are baby faces, so I don't see them like having a feud unless one of them goes heel. And
And
even
sometimes,
if they go heel, it wouldn't make sense because they get along.
but no, that's another thing. We in a sports competition. Everybody don't always have to be. It doesn't always have to be good guy versus bad guy. And that's another thing I don't get with storytelling. If you ever look at comics, villains turn on each other in a heartbeat sometimes, especially you, the motherfucking Joker. Joker don't give a fuck about anything. Well, we don't got that type of villains. I don't get, but yeah.
He's on Raw. Named Baron Corbin, I think.
No, that's disrespectful to the Joker.
Baron Corbin.
That's disrespectful to the Joker.
Hey, look, you said somebody that's gonna like turn on heels or something like that.
Oh no, we're saying Joker is the most iconic villain out of Marvel and DC.
No, I get what you're saying, and I love Joker too. But it's like, who do you have? There's someone that does it. It's just that Baron Corbin sucks. Well, at least in my opinion, he sucks. Um, like just like y'all, I was like, I'm very disappointed because it's just like, why? And then in the words of Brian Zane, Charlotte needs another women's title reign. Like I need a kick in the dick. It's like I don't see the point of putting this. And then like you and like Wallace said, it's been a shitty title reign for her. But yeah, it's been a very shitty title reign because not only she's like the people she went against, the fuse was like non-existent. Is that they were also very bleh, if you would say, because like the one with her and Mandy, it really didn't go nowhere. Like the Naomi and Mandy thing was more of a feud than her and Oscar. Becky and Charlotte, it was focused on the triple threat match. It's like, and you could have brought Nikki Cross up there. Someone new, Or even Lacey Evans says all you got her doing is just walking. Like she could have, like even though she's new, she could have challenged.
Mm.
I don't like. I feel like this is they Rey Mysterio Oscar because Rey Mysterio also like his title reign when he first got it wasn't that good either. I don't know why is it saying he's not allowed to join. Um, for some reason like they kind of fucked them over, and I don't understand it. But yeah, this shit kind of disappoint. This kind of disappointed me too because it's just like watching her in NXT, like having this undefeated streak. Like she left NXT undefeated,
Mm-hmm.
and then like her losing it to Charlotte twice, and then watching her like they make her look stupid on SmackDown. I think that's
She also lost to Carmella.
yeah. When she lost to Carmella, they made her look really stupid.
They kill people and then wonder why they can't make them superstars because you just put them in stupid matches that don't make sense
at all. You know what it is? I feel like it's just WWE thinking their fans are stupid, as they've always done.
I also think that there's no competition like there used to be.
You mean to tell me Dana Brooke on, even though you could tell, obviously she's not a competition, but you can tell me they have time for Dana Brooke to like get squashed by Ronda Rousey, but they couldn't give no one up to Oscar.
True. They could have gave up multiple people.
Like hell, like do what they did with Shelton Benjamin. Like at least you could have done that. It's like do what they did to Shelton Benjamin. He was on SmackDown. You put him on Raw. He battled Seth Rollins for like one night. It's like obviously they travel together. You could at least call up some more of them NXT women. It's like you have a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Back. I wish Paige was healthy.
Speaking of, where the fuck is Paige? I know she retired, but like
I think she's just taking a break.
I know she was the general manager, but they decided to do away with that whole angle. Thank God. But and then I'm sure she's still working the comedy, probably behind the scenes somewhere.
Or maybe she's secretly training.
or she's doing a movie. I don't know. She's probably doing a movie.
I wish she no. Remember that she was the when they decided they was gonna give us new stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, I think the last few weeks, Raw and SmackDown been pretty good. But it's just me because I'm.
Don't get me wrong. Raw and SmackDown has been pretty good. I think the women on Raw, which is really fucking weird, the women has been saving WWE for like the past year.
Yeah.
And like, even though I've always like laughed at broadcast the title, and like people like I'm tired of seeing Brock. I tell people like you kind of put this on yourself. But but you know, yeah, the women I like the fact that they got the main event of WrestleMania. They kind of deserve it. And to be honest, like I said, like they deserve it. But no other story has been like really innovative, except for Kofi Kingston. But that was like late.
Yeah, I mean, that's because you know what that gauntlet match they put him in really showed that he's really rough it. And I think they beginning. It actually looked like they're trying to listen to fans, but I don't want Daddy to listen to the fans too much because the fans don't understand storytelling sometimes.
Yeah, especially some of these fans out here.
We know somebody like that. He's a cool kid, but sometimes I need him. Well, two of them, I need them two to stop talking sometimes. I think Wallace told me to be. Wallace like chill, Phil, leaving them alone.
Like what they call marks. I believe that's what we call them, marks. Smart.
Smart Mark, which is us people who know it's not real, then Marks, which are basically little kids. But
Yeah.
some smart is another term that sometimes is used as an insult, and I don't get why. But it is only used as an insult from other fans. I know one person was like, I think it's disrespectful when they call us when they call it, but I was like, you ain't supposed to know that term. You ain't supposed to know what smart mark mean unless you're working in the wrestling industry. We ain't supposed to never find out what Phil and hate Hill and face meant. No baby face.
You know what's funny? You say that, and I feel like they said that a bunch of times. But then again, when you watch Big Show, like go from heel to face, like every week,
Mm-hmm.
you're bound to like know what that is.
I mean, going what? Face turn, heel turn. I mean,
Yeah, him having a face turn and heel.
trying to get it bad. I mean, before I realized what the words, before using the words, always used to say the good guy and the bad guy. You know what? Our old Professor Hernandez used to, what he explained me? Him and Griffin, they said before comic book movies and stuff,
Uh huh.
live action comic, yeah, your live action comic was wrestling. You think about it, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, and a Sting, they all wear the colorful colors.
You
And
talking
yet,
about the rock and wrestling era?
huh?
You talking about the rock and wrestling era, right?
What?
The
The
rock.
rock and wrestling era.
No, just wrestling in general. Well, like the 80s, yeah, probably the 80s and 90s is where they started looking like comic book characters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was the rock and wrestling era because they was like fully, like most of the heels had jobs, like Garbage Man, and there's what was one, the hockey player dude. Then you had Doink the Clown, uh, Butcher, was it Brutus the
What is
Beefcake?
beefcake?
Yeah,
Mm.
like they was actually like making them look like bad guys, and WCW tried to do the same thing. I forget. I remember when they put Kevin Nash in a wizard costume.
Mm.
Y'all remember Seven? That shit that Dustin Rhodes had to play?
Oh yeah, and he looked like a fucking pedophile.
Yeah, he had that like whole white face and shit. And then he's like, you know what? Cut this. I can't do this shit anymore. This is stupid.
Yeah, he was like,
When they called him the American Nightmare at one point?
Oh
no,
no, that's Cody Rhodes.
that's Cody
No,
Rhodes.
no. In WCW, I think they tried to call Dustin the American Nightmare at one point.
Let me look that up. I don't think.
Somebody told me that in the wrestling community.
I wouldn't believe that. I don't know. It seems kind of far fetched.
Let me see.
I don't know what to look at. They said they tried it in American.
Oh yeah, he did. This was like back in the late '90s, but it was very brief.
What is it?
Uh,
The American Nightmare Goldust, 1999 to 2001. That was WCW. This man 6'6". I didn't know that.
And no, that's real tall as shit.
yeah, that whole family's really tall, except for Dustin himself. But I mean, Dusty Rhodes himself. But yeah, most of them are really, really, really tall.
I
Um,
hope
hey,
WCW higher under WCWS. I mean, under WAS.
what you say?
I hope that the AEW, All Elite Wrestling, will light a fire under WAS and create some better competition.
You know what? I feel like they will, but at the same time, they have a hard time. They're going to have a hard time struggling at first because I don't like unless you're like watch the Indies wrestling all the time. They don't really have no big names besides Jericho,
You know
and
what?
I think that's their biggest problem.
I mean, you can. I'm gonna say you're right because due to the fact, even though I can tell people who stop watching wrestling and won't give it a try because they're like, "What is WWE?" I'm like, it's still the WWE. No, it's not. That's what, bro. It's the WWE. They just changed the name because they had to. 'Cause they went from a private company to a public company and they had to change their name.
Yeah.
Hey Stu, since we talk about wrestling, how you feel about the WrestleMania build?
I think that thing gonna be good, man. The best thing about wrestling is the day after wrestling. It's like usually bring somebody new in, and I know Kenny Omega contract about to expire or already expired already. So I
Oh,
don't know if he gonna. I
you
don't know
didn't
if he
hear?
gonna join. I don't know if he gonna join WWE.
He's not. You didn't hear about AEW yet.
I'm pretty sure he's going to AEW.
He is. He's not going. He's already is. He's a vice president.
Oh yeah. Did you see Tuesday Night SmackDown Stu when Oscar
Yeah,
lost to Charlotte?
yeah,
How
yeah.
how you feel about that?
Man, I don't know. SmackDown's kind of been more interesting than Raw. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Usually have Braun Strowman beat up the same two people over and over again. Um, if they make Charlotte, uh, I'm saying if they make her have both belts, that'd be kind of interesting.
No, uh, no, no.
Oh, that would be interesting. It'll be
No.
weird, but interesting. But you be tired of the same story over and over
I
again.
mean,
I've been looking at wrestling for a
this
while.
story, if this story doesn't end with Becky Lynch having the title, winning that WrestleMania, there's something wrong. Honestly,
Are they really going to unify the titles?
Yes.
mm.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
At
That's
this
what I'm
point,
thinking. Because if they unify, Charlotte Flair been doing a lot in the WWE. She did a cage match, she did a falls count anywhere. She her record speaks for itself. She be unified champion because it's the main event of WrestleMania. If she
you
be
know,
unified, if she hold two belts from SmackDown and Raw, bro, I it'd be something different. It'd be something new.
I'm a
I
Charlotte fan,
mean,
but
rather than giving it, I mean, giving it back would be the obvious choice because, like, oh yeah, they build her up, they want her to be a bad guy, and then she not a bad guy, she a good guy, she got a fucked up leg, she try. Oh yeah, we seen this before.
mm,
It's like they kind of doing things. I hope they would do things different, but it looked like Becky probably gonna get the belt.
she better. I'm gonna throw a control at my TV. No,
How
I'm
you,
not.
I done that before.
No,
how
I'm
you
not.
feel about the Kofi Kingston build?
I think Kofi Keith is gonna be champion. They did the same thing. They did the same thing with no Naomi when they made her champion. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's just like, hey, black people, here's a belt.
Well, no, you
Cause,
know
cause
that
I'm thinking about it
WrestleMania.
because I'm thinking about it. You gotta think about a lot of the people that they could have had that belt before Kofi Kingston. And Kofi Kingston, he's a good person, but I mean, he's kind of like Intercontinental Champion
Mm,
type.
I
So
think
you
you
don't think it's main event worthy?
was that right?
Nah, I think he'll be a good world champion.
Yeah, I think he will. I just think because people not used to seeing it, and like they don't. I mean, lately he's been showing he can be up there.
He
He,
can be up there and he can hang with anybody. That's the main thing. It's not whether you have the look or not. It's whether you can just hang. Because when Rey Mysterio had the championship for like 2 seconds, yeah, I mean, at least he defended it against John Cena, right?
Yeah, but you gotta think about it like it's kind of like they kind of like feeding him a little bit. I mean, he doing a lot in the ring.
Yeah.
That gunlay match, he doing a lot. But you
he
got
did
you gotta tell me like
he did the
if
gauntlet
the
match.
bar if the bar really wanted to beat them up, they could have literally beat them up for real. No bullshit. You falling out the ring and shit. You stand out the ring for like 30, 40 seconds. or 2 or 3 minutes or something like that. But I mean, it's a good angle because they ever since CM Punk was there, they always have somebody like some big muscular dude, the WWE champion shit. So it's really not all about size no more. It's kind of more about with the crowd. So
It's
if you become WWE champ, that'd be nice. That'd be different. That'd be good.
mm,
I just don't want them to screw it up and do something stupid like New Day break up or they jump Kofi Kingston or some stupid shit like that.
Oh, I hope they don't fucking jump Kofi
I
King.
feel like that's
But
gonna happen.
because they do shit that you don't want just to get the
it
reaction.
happens. It
Like
happens.
like with the Shield twice, with the Shield twice, both when they had a tag team champion when old boy hit what's the name with the chair and shit. They do stuff to get a reaction. And
Now,
if
the first year breakup was dope due to the fact one that first
Steph
breakup
Rollins,
it was the fact that Seth Rollins was the one that turned because the way they made it seem like it was going to be Dean Ambrose in that first one because he started separating himself and all that.
yeah, but then the second time it was Dean Ambrose, and that was the day that what's the name announced he was leaving because what's her name?
I mean, that was a good time to pull the trigger because of the emotions of his cancer and stuff. But I think the problem that messed that heel turn up was they couldn't think of a legit reason. And they just said, I don't know."
Well, they didn't make a big character for him, with the little gas mask and being all extra clean and shit. And then a rumor that he was leaving and shit. Because I mean, it's rumors saying that him and old girl are getting divorced.
And look, I ain't see those.
Yeah, yeah, man, yo, I drive at night writing tickets. You be so I listen to all these broadcasts. I got 8 hours every night, listen to a whole rack of shit. So yeah, they say it's a rumor that him and old girl supposed to be getting divorced because she hang around with that dude, that announcer dude with the fucking tattoos on his fucking neck
Oh,
and shit.
Corey Graves.
Mm.
Yeah, Corey Graves. This is a rumor they could be messing with each other. 'Cause they
But
said they found him a few times in the hotel room.
Yeah,
Damn.
It's just rumors though. You know what I'm
Corey
saying?
Graves still around.
Yeah,
I
man.
don't know what I'm say. I seen rumors that say he was messing with Carmella.
Yeah, because
I don't know. Carmella come
you,
out,
you
Cody Rhodes
have you
come
ever
out.
been deployed? I don't know which one y'all say y'all been in the Marines. When y'all I know Marines don't have I don't know if Marines have a lot of female, but when you're in the Navy, when you out the deployment, they have this thing where you have your boat relationship, you have your home relationship. When y'all out to sea, relationships start getting all together and shit. Motherfuckers like, having a boyfriend, girlfriend shit. Then in the deployment, when you gotta get back home, that's when motherfuckers start crying and shit like 2 weeks before we about to pull in the port.
The boat boot break.
And yeah, Boku boo, your boat boo. But that's how it is for the military too. I mean for the wrestling too, because you hang with each other, you travel with each other. It's hard to have a girl, in New York and you traveling out the world. You might as well just fuck with somebody that you already there with. But that's
I
the
think that,
Romans.
I think that's what happened between JoJo and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, and yo, Jojo, she's sexy as fuck. Oh my
She's pregnant.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
She's pregnant.
She is
She's a whole
she
pregnant.
man, she's beautiful. She'll still get it. She's beautiful as hell. She's
With
beautiful
the
as hell.
with the baby.
Move the baby. She's beautiful as hell, man. Oh my gosh.
She's due in June.
Yeah, naturally, man. So I mean, and then I don't know, because they say Bray Wyatt supposed to come back. Bray Wyatt supposed to come back. They
Yeah, I'm
said
cool.
that it's a couple of people they thinking about bringing back.
Yo, if they bring Bray
That
Wyatt
dude
back, he should. He
Bray
should.
Wyatt. These are rumors. Bray Wyatt, Johnny Morrison, that feed me more dude. Whatever the fuck his
Bobby
Oh,
name
Lashley.
is. Yeah, these are all the people because they always bring somebody old like right after WrestleMania because the last two WrestleManias was after the Raw after WrestleMania and SmackDown WrestleMania was weak. And the last few Royal Rumbles was kind of weak too. The only one was more exciting when they brought the Hardy Boys back, but been kind of weak. So I mean, and then they raised it kind of low, so they kind of mixing it up. So I kind of thinking like the Kofi Kingston will bring up ratings because everybody's voting for him. but then they'll try to destroy that shit. So I don't know what the fuck is up. And I'm thinking like, when's Braun Strowman gonna have the belt? That motherfucker been knocking motherfuckers all around the ring like forever. It's just
Unfortunately, he keeps fucking up. That's why he doesn't have the belt now. He keeps
not. He
fucking.
got injured. He got injured in the shoulder, so he had surgery. Remember?
I know the surgery thing, but there's been times where like he's been clean, he's been cleared, and like nothing's wrong with him, and he'll fuck up in the back, and Vince like will yell at him and fuck up his chances.
We know
Like,
last time.
like he could
Yeah,
have had the belt like at least 3 times right now.
yeah, but he could have had that belt when the Shield reunited and came out there and beat him up when he had his Money in the Bank jump.
I mean,
But WrestleMania, the women's match is gonna be real good.
Yeah, that should be match of the year, honestly.
You
That
think
should be real good.
as much as Ronda can't talk on the mic, you can tell she has some wrestling love in her. Because to be honest, for a rookie, she's been one of the best ones I've seen.
But
And
no, she do this. She do the same fucking moves over and over again. Oh, let me grab your arm. Oh my gosh, let me kick you. Oh my
I
gosh, let me
mean,
punch you.
I mean, they still look nice though. I still like it.
yeah, I think as far as the matches with the 4 horsewomen, like Ronda's been, usually Ronda. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think Ronda's done good to be a rookie compared to some other rookies or other
Yeah,
people from even though she did NXT. I can imagine how much she'd be if she would have went to NXT, but I get why they. My only problem with Ronda, I don't like her as a fighter, but that's just my fighting mentality. I can't stand somebody like, oh, I lost the fight and I almost wanted to commit suicide.
well, they brought her in because the ratings was real low during that time. Like they said, the
I'm
ratings was
just
real
saying,
bad.
this thing for Ronda. Because in my mind, real fighters, you never seen the greats. Muhammad Ali lost, Mike Tyson lost. You never see the greats get down and say, oh, like I wanted to commit suicide, and
But
they
Phil,
come back, and kill it.
Phil, she's a
Yeah.
white woman.
She's a fight.
He said what?
She's a white
He's a
woman.
white woman.
Yeah. She got no rhythm at all, man.
No, we're talking. She just. I don't know. I'm sorry, Juan.
Like you can't like Ali who had to fight and then get back up and then get knocked down in and out the ring and get back up just to win the championship. To someone that's like they get knocked out really bad and go, man, I don't think I want to fight no more. I might kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then she came back and lost again. Then retired.
Yeah.
That's not a fighter to me. You better get to that lab and figure this shit out.
But what I heard also is that they supposed to bring back another UFC chick that supposed to say she wanted to wrestle and join WWE.
I think it's Chris Cyborg because I heard her
Yeah,
talk.
Yo,
yeah, it's another chick. It's another chick that's in UF. It's another chick that's leaving UFC now that says she want to do WWE. But the crazy thing about it won't be turned into wrestling because I think what Raw or SmackDown supposed to be on ESPN or some different channel, something like that. So they supposed to change how it's supposed to be or something.
Oh yeah, you talking about SmackDown moving
I
to
thought that
Fox.
was weird.
You said what, Ray?
I saw like this Fox commercial and they had WWE footage on Fox, and I thought
Yeah.
that was
Yeah, because I think they supposed to have a contract with them.
Yeah.
And they say they're going to change how they do stuff. They want to kind of like a little more fighting, less with little entertainment. But entertainment makes it because we know wrestling is fake.
Is it
Entertainment
what they tried to do on WB?
Huh?
Is it like what they tried to do with WB when they put the WWE on the WB, and then like you couldn't even see half of the wrestling moves because they thought it was too violent?
I don't even remember that.
Well,
Yo, it was like a small stint when it was the CW where the WWE was on the CW, and like you couldn't see half of the moves because they thought it was too violent.
I didn't know it was on the
Oh
WWE.
wow!
I did, and I
Oh
said,
yeah, no, I know what you're talking about because they fucking banned the shooting star press.
right. And there was times where like instead of like the ring being like the cameras being on the ring, they go to the announcers, and the announcers go, "Oh, what a shot!" And you like, "What happened?" And the next thing you know, the person's on the ground, and I'm like, "Oh, this is
Oh,
what we do."
that didn't last long.
It did not.
That didn't last long. You know, they be experiment with so much fucking shit. Cause I kind of like they put it to where they try to make it PG. They got rid of a lot of the stuff that's on there.
It's PG right now. It's a
So
little annoying.
yeah. But you know, when I was looking at, we had, you had the rock, you had the lingerie, you had the lingerie match, you had the
You
strip
know what? I
match.
would be one of the only people. I don't want them to bring that back. I know some people will hate me for it. I like,
You
I
talking
like
about
that
the brown patty match?
huh?
The
You talking about the
bras and panty match, yeah. The bra
Nah,
and
nah,
panty match. Yeah.
we don't need those anymore. I like when bitches beating the shit out of each other. Mm.
By the way, the bra and panties match were for females that couldn't wrestle anyway. So
yeah.
Yeah, it was for entertainment. It was kind of like more like the wrestler managers, or you know what I'm saying. Like you said, the females that can't wrestle.
I knew it went too far when I think they try to get Vicky Guerrero in the bra and panties match?
Yeah, they did.
I mean, I
Yeah.
was like, okay, yeah,
They
that's too far.
they
That's way too
did.
far.
You know, oh shit, yeah.
Try to see
Oh
some
god.
granny panties and shit. No, no, thank you.
Nah, we don't need that, fam.
I don't need that negativity in my life.
But a good thing. At least they put China in the Hall of Fame, man.
By association.
By association.
Which
Yeah,
I
but
mean, I guess it's better than nothing.
You
So
I
know she
think
wasn't gonna get in by herself. I don't give
she
a
going
damn.
she gonna get in by herself.
She's not gonna
They
get
just
in by
gotta
herself.
they just gotta put you in as a group.
The ninth wonder ever to the world.
I do not think she's gonna get in by herself. I've been saying this.
I think she is. I mean, she died. You know, a lot of wrestlers was off drugs anyway. They're still in that shit.
I believe it when Chris Benoit gets in.
all right, Ray.
Chris, Chris,
All right, Ray.
bruh.
I'm gonna say
Hey,
this.
I need you to do a step back, turn around, and rethink that.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. So I think they're gonna put China in because eventually they're gonna have to put CM Punk in because that nigga was champion for like a whole year.
Yeah, they're gonna wait. They're gonna wait till a long time for him to be there. They
Yeah.
was doing this. They was doing the same thing with Goldberg. Goldberg been like undefeated for years, and they just put him in there.
Yeah, but that wasn't under WCW. I mean, that was under WCW, not WWE. You know,
Yeah,
Vince.
but when they bought WCW, they was putting Hall of Fame people in the Hall of Fame in WCW. I mean
Also,
WCW
and Triple
too.
H used to have real bad beef before he
Yeah, I
was
know.
in.
That's what I was saying. Like him and Sting, and they put him in there. They didn't like each other from the jump because of the status from WCW and
Well,
WWF. But now they putting them in.
yeah,
Goldberg should have been one of the first ones.
yeah, and I think that's one of the good things about the Hall of Fame because they put people like it fixed relationships. Like, because by that same logic, Jeff Jarrett shouldn't have been in there because this man owns a whole rival company. So it's like
Yeah,
I like the and Jeff Jarrett and Vince McMahon wasn't cool for years. They was actually beefing for years. So I
Real
like
hard.
the Hall of Fame like brings people together and actually let bygones be bygones so they can have their moment. Because at that point, it's not because of like personal relationships. It's about your contribution to the sport.
Yeah.
it
You guys
is.
ever watch Hot Ones before? The Wings of Death Challenge? It's like a little interview. Do ask people, ask celebrities some questions while they eat hot wings.
Oh, you talking about hot ones?
Yeah, hot ones. Well, Chris Jericho and Sasha Banks were on it before. And Chris Jericho mentioned how he couldn't stand Triple H at one point.
A lot of people can't stand Triple H, man.
He said at one point they good people now.
I mean, now,
A lot.
yeah.
Batista, all that stuff Batista was saying about Triple H is kind of true. He kind of used everything to get in the head.
I mean, but look at where it got him now. He's COO. So You're like 12 years too late, my man.
But
Yeah, but you got to think about a lot of the wrestlers that they kind of shitted on
but
to they didn't
yeah,
have
I
to.
mean, in a
Booker
world,
T is one of them.
much of this,
Definitely CM Punk. They sent that dude a letter firing him on his wedding day. Get the fuck out of here. They didn't know that it happened. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. I did that shit on purpose.
CM Punk was a person who stood up too much for him. He was gonna get fired eventually. He stood up too much.
Shoot. The way Izzo told his story, Izzo like Triple H didn't like Izzo that much either. Which is
Yeah, I seen that. I seen that on YouTube too.
Well, a lot of people don't like Enzo more because Enzo can't turn it off. He's one of them people who got stuff but doesn't appreciate it. And still to this day, he don't appreciate it.
no, well, according to him, he's done everything. Or according to that interview, he's done everything like you could imagine. He went to WrestleMania. He got in the Royal Rumble with the likes of Goldberg and the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. It's like he's to him, like he's done it all. Like everything else was just a bonus. So I can understand why Izzo was acting like that a little bit. It was like he wasn't trying to like be there forever and be like multi-time champion. I think he was just like using that to get to like other things.
Yeah, because in his story, he said that he wasn't even wrestling like that for real. He said he was a rapper, and Triple
God.
H met him. Triple H said he met him, and he said he was good on the mic. All he was gonna be a hype man, but then they wanted him to do a little bit more wrestling stuff, and that's how that came to be. So I mean,
Like he could have been a great manager to me, but they used him to wrestle. So I tell the truth, I feel like Enzo's just happy where he was.
yeah, him and Cass are out. You know what I'm saying? They started off real big, and then both of them gone.
Yeah, and they sold the most merchandise
Yeah,
at
they
that
sold the
time.
most merchandise
Like they
like
was
crazy, man.
losing merch. Okay. All right, so I'm going ahead and wrap up this podcast. As always, I'm gonna leave with the final word. And since Stu, you knew, I'm gonna start with you.
All right, I think the conversation y'all had before wrestling, when y'all was talking about the drugs and how people don't care about
Mental health.
mental health. There you go, mental health and stuff. Y'all said a lot, and I want to put my input in. I feel that doing a suicide with a lot of the people doing the shooting, a lot of people are saying a lot of stuff about it, but I don't see a lot of people don't say nothing about a lot of black people that go through that shit every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know people that always get through drive-bys, always getting shooting on everyday basis, and our mental health, either we kind of got strong to it or a lot of people go into negative stuff and nobody will say nothing about that. That's the same thing with the drugs that the white people using now. Nobody really ain't saying nothing about crack. You get caught with crack, you could get like 10 to 15 years in jail off of crack. But the drugs out here now, mostly with the white people, oh, they need therapy, or you know what, Trump, like, I'm gonna put out some stuff to help the people. Nobody really help us. Um, as far as the also with the mental health too, I'll say that you always need a background. You need that support from friends, because I mean everybody, like Jameson said, he was saying that I mean everybody is different. Every Just because you go through one thing, you can't go through the never. So I don't think what Jameson said was like, if you can't go through it, you won't be tough, or something he said like that. I kind of think that everybody's strong in certain things and everybody can't deal with certain things. We could be in a hood, we could be into hood in a recession. We could make that shit work with ooze and news, and fucking fruit punch and Kool-Aid. White people do that shit. They fucking their whole fucking world go crazy and shit. We know how it is from the bottom. I think that's it.
Okay, first Black Ginger. Your final words.
Love your fellow black woman and man. Stop the gender war and kill the narratives. Let's be better.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay, Father.
And Coffee Mania.
Man, my girl Oscar deserves better. That was some bullshit. I'm a
Hell
very
yeah.
angry person. It's like I say, it's like my child lost his trophy. It's like they cheated my child off of an award, and I seen how hard she don't work. So I just hope that they do Oscar right before she goes somewhere else and kills WWE, because that's what she's gonna do if she ever goes somewhere else.
AEW.
And also, I saw a video on Twitter about how a girl who was in a relationship paid $50 to another girl to try to catch her man cheating, and basically admitted that she lied to her because she saw the worth in him. And I'm like, I love karma because it usually hits women harder than it does men. That I've noticed.
That shit.
Because
That's
it was
funny and
yeah,
foul at the same time.
yeah, it was funny as hell because men have been saying forever, a lot of these females out here don't take accountability when they just plain out wrong. When they wrong, it's always something we did, or when they fuck up and do something, they always try to find a way to come back to us.
Hey Wallace, be honest, you gonna stop the female thing too. I know you're doing it.
The females.
So as I was saying, these females, calm down. And it's okay to take accountability. That's all I gotta say.
Goddamn males. Gang goofy.
Hashtag gang goofy.
Gang goofy.
Yeah, okay. Like I'm gonna reiterate, I hope one day we do get on code. And I hope one day we like settle all our differences so we can help the future and we can come up from that totem pole one day. So with that being said, this is You Know What, Let Me Just Say podcast, and I'm signing out. Peace.
Yeet. Coffee Mania.
Coffee Mania.